Hey, sixth graders, happy Friday. Mr. Brennan here. Today, in lesson 6.4, we're going to talk about absolute value, which I believe is the easiest of all these concepts. So the essential question is, how can you describe how far an object is from sea level or away from zero? And the answer is easy. It just is. So we're going to talk about that in a second, but we have some other things we need to look at. So let's take a quick check. Looking at the temple wall, it's starting to get full. Congratulations, Brianne, Deacon, and Jackson for joining the club. I hope you'll get on here too. It's going to stay here forever. As long as I'm a teacher and running this, we'll see how many we can get on there. So I encourage you, I know it's a little extra work, do it this weekend. I want to use this in the next adventure. So if you have the time, or you have a parent, or you have somebody to help you, go ahead and work the temple. This is yesterday's quiz. Congratulations to the mighty 30. Those half of you who did this, and I crossed off a couple people that did it twice. So congratulations to those people who went back to improve their learning. That is awesome. So I hope this is you. There's just one or two things I want to look at for this quiz. So most people rolled over all of these problems, but the ones that gave us problems are like number 11 and number 12, but mostly a number 11. So these ones, you'd need to find a common denominator. So because I don't know which is greater, -2/5 or -1/4. So I'm just going to say this is 2, and I don't know what my common denominator is. This is -2, and I don't know what my common denominator. So what do you think? I've got 5, 10, 15, 20. Oh, I've got 4, 8, 12, 16, 20. 5 times 4 is 20. So my common denominator is going to be 20. And so what did I do to this 5 to make it 20? The bottom, I multiplied by 4. So I got to multiply the top by 4. So this is 8/20, or -8/20. Don't forget, multiply the bottom by 5. So I got to multiply the top by 5. So now it's a little easier, but I still have to be careful. Which is greater, -2 and 8/20, or -2 and 5/20? Ordinarily, 8/20 would be greater, but I know that on my number line, since we're -2 and 5/20, so the big mouth goes to the bigger number. This is closer to 0 than this. So two things you have to be careful. First, find the common denominator, and then remember that you're talking about the other side of 0. 0's over here. So 5/20 is going to be here, and -8/20 is going to be there. So that's something to be careful of. On to today's lesson. Absolute value might be the simplest concept to understand. So if you've been waiting to get into a really easy one to do your homework, today's your day, because we're really just finding out absolute value means how far are you away from 0. So you see that here's 1,000 meters. Is the bald eagle 1,000 meters? Just its little tip of its wing is. So 1,000 meters, that means it's 1,000 meters above sea level, above 0. And this submarine is -1,000 meters. You can't maybe see it there. So it's also 1,000 meters. The whale is -2,000 meters. That means it's 2,000 meters below sea level, but its absolute value is 2,000 meters. So when we use this sign like this, absolute value is the number of distance between a number and 0. No matter if it's positive or negative. So the absolute value of -2 is 2, because it's 2 away from 0. It doesn't matter if it's negative. The absolute value of 2 is also 2. So they're the same. The absolute value of -2 and the absolute value of 2 are both the same. This is an easy concept to get, but if you don't look at it, it's going to be, and you see those 2 lines, you're not going to know what they mean. You're going to think they're big ones or something like that. I don't know. It's one of those things we use a lot later, but it's a pretty easy concept. So you can see the absolute value graph, -2.5 on the number line. But what's the absolute value of -2.5? Well, it's just 2.5. So all you're doing is leaving out the negative sign. So when you come down to the exercises, the absolute value, we already talked about this one, negative 2 is 2. 23 is 23. Negative 8 and 3500ths is 8 and 3500ths. Could it really be that easy? You know what? It is. Got to think a little bit. Sometimes when you're moving fast, greater than, less than, or equal, or I'm sorry, less than, greater than, or equal to. So which one is, this is 6, this is 8. 8, we know 6 is a lot greater than negative 8, but this is not negative 8. It's the absolute value of negative 8. So a new concept, pretty easy once you practice it, and you'll never forget what those lines mean. It just means absolute value. And I think you're going to have fun today. I think you're going to finish fast. I'll see you at the meeting. I hope you have a great day.